In 2017, we got an invite to a small community in the ISHERI area of Lagos, where residents felt they were being oppressed by their neighbors in Magodo GRA. Well, years down the line, the case resurfaces. The people in the community feel they are being ignored and unfairly dealt with. They voice their pains and want the government to ensure their neighbors comply with the directive to set up embankments behind their property. The Otun River rises as rainfall increases. Communities along its bank are not at ease based on past experiences with flood. One of such community is Otun Araromi in the ISHERI area of Lagos State, a neighborhood of Magodo GRA. Their concern this time around does not stem from the water from Otun River, but the one from their neighbors meant to be channeled to the river but left halfway. This is worsened by the topography of the area, which puts the residents at the mercy of their neighbors. According to one of them, this has caused them untold hardship.
Whenever it rains, I feel sad because I'm not at peace when rain starts like this. You can see behind me, very big pipe there. When rain starts, the rate of our water gushes out there is alarming. We have been inviting them to come and see what is going on, but no response. That if engineers can come with them, they can tell them how they can channel the water to the lagoon.
In the last 5 years, 9 members of 2 families have lost their lives as a result of landslide and subsequent building collapse. The people are afraid that this could continue.
2015, a big queue up there fell and damaged this man's house, which is called Ekoseye, and killed 4 children. After that, a house again at that same up fell, broke into the next house, killed 4 children. Then, because they refused to do their embankment, now so many of them are doing their embankment now. They are channeling water to us. Please, we are begging the government. They should come into this. Come and look into it. Whether they are right, it's right thing for them to do or not.
From where?
For some reasons, we couldn't tell why some members of the community didn't buy into our presence here. One of them decides to harass us.
This community, we don't go for government. Government don't leave us here. Then these people where they up, they don't say make them go and do embankment. So we not get any problem with the people where they up again. Now let this place, this one they happen.
However, Mr. Fred Igbenson, one of those largely displeased by the situation of things in the community, draws our attention to some project already being done by the Magodo residents, which he claims are being executed haphazardly.
They came in with caterpillar, damaged my personal property, damaged the cover that the community did. I invited so many of them, pleaded with so many of them. I called a lawyer that lives up there to help us to see what they would do. Following that, the government directive is that they must do the embankment and make sure they channel the water to where the water is supposed to go. But they do this while they're doing this embankment, they're channeling this water to people's properties. It has damaged so many people's properties. Once it rains, women and children cannot go out. Because of the force of the water they've channeled, the community has spent over 5.5 million that we have record of on doing the culvert, doing the first gutter when erosion wanted to cut the road, and channeling this as far as we can get it now to the river. It's not finished. And the one here now at the end of this zone, they channeled another serious erosion into it. We have asked them to do a gutter from where they channeled it into another gutter and channel the gutter into the sea. That's all we are asking. But nobody wants to listen to us. We are pleading to the federal government Ikosofe local government, we are pleading to Lagos State, especially Minister of Housing and Works, to come and assist us.
A resident of Magodo GRA, Chris ELUJULO, soon joins us to state his side of the story.
I'm not building it.
At the time of our visit, he was carrying out an embankment project on his property, which he claims should have started since March, but delayed due to the COVID lockdown. He first gives clarity to the bone of contention.
The problem of this place started long ago. This land you are looking at from the top of the hill there, slope from that place towards the river. But they started excavating it up to where you are looking at it today. They now build on it. It didn't stop there. Initially, you can't find any house at the back of the gorge before. But they started selling the place also, and they started building on it. So when it continued, something horrible happened some 6 years ago. One of the houses that is standing, because they've excavated the root, the fence collapsed and killed 5 people. When that happened, we were summoned to House of Assembly. I mean, the people upstairs, based on the information they got there, that in the first place, we don't even have paper. We don't have document. We are encroaching into the land. So we were summoned. We appeared before 5-man ad hoc committee, and we presented all our papers. In fact, they were surprised because it was contrary to the information they got. So they now came down. They marked all the houses, especially the one at the back of the gorge, asking them to relocate. But I don't know what happened to the government. Nothing happened until the one of last year happened again. And they started marking their house there. We were looking from the up. So one of the officials said they are still coming up to come and mark. For what? We went to the commissioner for physical planning. Now when this thing happened 4 or 5 years ago, you invited us. And we presented our document. The man said we should present another document. So we presented another document and gave it to him. So when they look at the document, they discover the document are genuine. But 4 years ago, they persuaded us to try and do embankment. Those houses who are so threatened did embankment. For example, I didn't do embankment because you can see my house from far off. It's very, very far from the gorge. So when the one of last year happened, and they were calling for bring this, bring that, we packaged it as usual. We took it to Labska in Koshofe, and they asked us to go and deposit at back in Jobi. We took it there. They wrote another letter. They will see some of the houses there that they didn't respond to their request. My house was not sealed in fairness to them, but they wrote a letter that they asked me to do an embankment. I repeated the same thing. I come and look at my house. It's far from the gorge, and besides, to God be the glory, I was able to prevent people from excavating the land and build at the back. So my house is not threatening in any way.
While some of the residents have complied with the state government's directive to set up embankment and have also properly channeled their water to the river, a lot more need to see the light in the directive, which could save their property and put their neighbors at ease. For now, both parties may need to sit on a round table, iron out this area of conflict, and work out the answers to their questions.